So a couple of weeks ago, we posted a short about how Shaye has lost 3 inches of height since going on estrogen. And the video definitely garnered a lot of interest.
My transgender wife was 6'5" before she transitioned. We knew she would shrink when she went on female hormones, but by how much? 6'2".
All right, so today we thought it would be fun to talk a little bit more about that short we made. We've made a video in the past about your journey with hormone replacement therapy. Shaye's been on estrogen for 3 years, but we hadn't measured the height you'd lost until more recently.
So I do want to apologize. I do have a cold, and so
Yeah, we both do.
So my voice is even deeper than it normally sounds. So you can just keep the comments coming if you need to. Something I had read about on Reddit was that trans women tend to lose a little bit of height. I anticipated that I would lose, like, I think I told you, I thought maybe an inch. We were shocked when we measured me because that was something that I wasn't anticipating. I lost 3 inches.
Yeah. Well, in reading about it on Reddit, it was sort of like your mileage may vary. And so some transgender women were saying they'd lost significant, 2-3 inches. And that excited you just because, just like wanting to sort of blend in a little bit, which I think sometimes that's like the wrong way to look at it, because I love the ways that you stand out.
It's something that I've always struggled with. In fact, I was struggling with my height even before I transitioned. I never liked it when people told me that I was tall. And I would pretend sometimes like yeah, I'm tall, but it wasn't something I ever wanted. Especially after transitioning, it's something that I just don't want to stand out. I don't like people necessarily to look at me all the time, but whatever.
Well, and it's that makes sense to me that you didn't really love people pointing out how tall you were, which that was probably the first thing people would notice about you, right? Like, oh, Shaye's so tall, right? But it's such a funny thing in our culture that it's such a flex for men to be tall, but like women, it's not feminine to take up too much space, right? And so we get comments from tall girls all the time that talk about how like owning that height is kind of a journey and a challenge. That's something really frustrating about beauty standards, I think, because we all come in different shapes and sizes. Why does there have to be this like one idea of what it is to be feminine?
That's one thing that's been interesting for me with the binary is I feel like I've been able to experience both sides. So it's been really interesting to see just some of these beliefs that we hold so tightly.
And just so everyone knows, Shaye's bones did not shrink. We got a lot of comments like, well, guess Shaye's bones are deteriorating, or people just thinking it was a total hoax because bones don't shrink, which is true, bones don't shrink. The science on this is interesting though, because estrogen causes a lot of breakdown of muscle, right? Like that's a big part of it. But in terms of height, it is the ligaments and the cartilage that are really affected. And so that's in the feet, that's in the spinal column. So something about the S-curve in the spine, that because estrogen creates more of an S-curve, that compacts height a little bit. And so that's what accounts for that loss in height.
I mean, you guys probably know this as well, but older people obviously tend to lose height as well. So maybe I'll be down to like 5'7" on my way out. So.
You wish. And you've lost a couple shoe sizes too, right?
Yes, that's something else that people don't realize is that you do lose shoe sizes. I went from a size 13 down to a size 11.
These are 13s, but yeah, these are clearly way too big for you now. And these are 11s, right? Pretty crazy.
That was something I was very happy about because there's more women's shoes to pick from in those sizes. But yeah, I mean, every bit helps, honestly. Obviously I'm still a big individual, and but I didn't anticipate the benefits that I did gain, so.
Yeah, one thing that's occurred to me many times throughout your journey is just how the body can adapt in order to sustain us like on our journey. And I know this is something a lot of people don't see as natural, right? They see, oh, Shaye is taking estrogen, which her body does not naturally create. But there are so many medicinal therapies that are just like that. Our bodies sometimes don't make the things that we need. Estrogen helps you to feel clear-headed, helps you to feel calm and in alignment with your body. And it's amazing, like the way your body's been able to adapt now that you've had the proper treatment in order to just help you live more comfortably.
Yeah, regardless of what people's beliefs are about trans people, knowing that the data backs up that HRT helps people to alleviate suffering, wouldn't we want that for everybody? So regardless of maybe what your religious beliefs are and how that works, you know, for me, it's like it's aligning my brain that I've known my whole life with my body, and that's simply what I'm doing, and that's brought an immense amount of a peace in my life that I didn't know was possible. So.
Yeah, well, I wish people could just see that gender affirming care is not just for trans people. Literally cisgender people, people who are not trans, have gender affirming care all the time. Things that help you feel better in the way that you present to the world and things like that. But it's this bad, scary thing if someone's doing that across the gender binary in a way that we don't understand as well. So it's really not any different. It's not any different than a cisgender person feeling in alignment with themselves.
Yeah, so as a result of posting this video, it was really interesting because we had Newsweek reach out to us, I think on TikTok, funny enough, because we don't really have a big following on TikTok. We just started TikTok. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Yeah, they did an article on us about my height, and then some other publishers picked it up as well.
Daily Mail, a whole bunch of different ones, which is funny that this is the one thing, but yeah, at the same time, like all these things that are connected to your height and estrogen, it is a pretty fascinating idea.
Yeah, but yeah, it's been an interesting journey. We've been so grateful for so many of you guys. Like honestly, we get messages, direct messages all the time, emails from families going through similar things as us, and it makes it all worth it. It really does.
Yeah, we're really grateful for those of you who stick around and send us so much kindness. It really means a lot. And so thank you. Thank you for walking with us on this journey. It's kind of a crazy ride sometimes.
Yeah.